Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. Starting off, we got the white pieces against a 1724 from Bangladesh. I think this is maybe the third white game we've had in a row, so we're sticking with D4. Maybe we'll get something a bit spicy here. We'll try our best to make it entertaining for you all. And yeah, hope you're all having an amazing day. Let's see what black has in store for us. Our opponent, Akbar 15. Is waiting. Auto abort. So, we've got a B6 after an E4. My least favourite of the opening choices, the Owens. So what do you do here? And to be honest, I have no clue. I don't have any idea of what to do at all. So, I think we've said this before, but what do you do when you don't know what to do? And that is think about the future. What are they likely to do? So, their obvious plan immediately is to fianchetto their light squared bishop. So, that means this is likely to go onto a light square, just so it's supported. It's unlikely that they would play an E5, and lock their pieces on dark squares. Because there's not really many pawn breaks they can do. They could maybe do an F5 and hunt for the king on this side. But hopefully we will be pretty secure around here. And if they locked up on the dark squares as well, their dark square bishop's going to have a hard time. So what a lot of people who do this sort of thing do is do a double fianchetto system, which is awkward to play against. Simply because both the bishops are quite strong. So in that scenario, we would want to lock up. From my experience, people that play the Owens typically play some sort of French system. So I'm going to suggest going knight to f3. I've forgotten the word. Transposing into apparently the Reti, according to chess.com, the queenside fianchetto variation. So what we do against the French is we would go into some sort of d3, c3, King's Indian attack style thing. I'm not too fussed about having the bishops facing each other, just because we're actually hoping to lock this up. And then we're fine kingside castling again. I'm not too stressed about that, especially if we manage to lock everything up. And with the fianchetto there, it should be relatively safe anyway. So we're making potentially some light squared weaknesses, but hopefully our light squared bishop will fill in for that. C3 will be a really nice move against their other bishop if they decide to go with their own sort of double fianchetto system. And now another idea you can do against these fianchettos is push the early wing pawn. H or A, and just try to break that up. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, so I don't really do that. And I think a D3 would just do here. I don't see a problem with it at all. And the good thing about this, when you're playing this sort of King's Indian attack Reti style thing, there we go, is the bishop can't come to G4, which is one of the reasons why you can't play you obviously can, there's nothing stopping you. Why the King's Indian attack isn't as good unless they've played an E6 before. It's because it'll block in the light square bishop and it becomes a bit of a pain once they go to G4. But with this move, and now with this move, we're not stressing about that. And I predicted it. Call me I don't know the word, a seer, I don't know, a truth teller, something like. But they played E6, like I said. So E6, going with D5. And yeah, we can just play this like a regular sort of King's Indian attack, I think. There's nothing wrong with E4 and play it Frenchy style, really. Frenchy with a fianchetto and then a kingside push. That's basically what the King's Indian attack is. From my point of view anyway, obviously there will be some higher rated players that disagree with me, and you should probably listen to them rather than me. But yeah, we can just wait and see now. And this just comes from my experience, knowing that people who play this light squared fianchetto just like the French, and in the French as well, especially in the King's Indian attack, you see this bishop coming here or here, either way. So it's just learning the patterns and being able to sort of link them together for when you're sort of stuck. And against the knight, I usually play a c3. Just stops any shenanigans coming in. And it supports this this d4 push as well, which I find quite nice. And then we go in for the double fianchetto again, which is brilliant. Just what we wanted for Christmas. And we've just got to be a bit careful for this push. Now when they go d5, because we're going to struggle to push e5 with the two attackers on it. So we're going to have to do like a queen e2, which is fine. That's usually what happens anyway. And then a castle with the rook coming in, if I can draw arrows there. So I think a bishop g2 is fine here. They're going to complete the development. And now we go queen to e2. Yes. And I'm happy with that. This is just a usual setup for us. If you watched back when I played the King's Indian attack a lot of the time, this is just a regular setup. So they go knight e7. So they're looking for one of these pushes. It's more likely going to be this one. But then again, we're fine. And the thing I don't like about this move, sometimes people play it in King's Indian attack, against a King's Indian attack, and it's fine. But it's usually coming to g6. Now with this pawn push, you can't actually play that. So it's not really doing much, is this knight, to be honest. And I think we're just safe to castle here. Knight d2 is still an option. We've got this usual plan of rerouting this knight over to here and coming up here, which is, it seems long, but it's so worth it in the long run. And they play a d6, so they're too scared to commit to the d5, which makes me wonder what their plan is, to be honest. I think they might be looking for an f5, which I wouldn't be objecting to. In that case, a bishop g5 would look nice. Although it can get kicked. But again, it would be weakening the king. A rook e1 could be nice. Knight e2 could be nice as well. So if they push this, what are we going to do? Are we going to take? Or are we going to push? Or are we going to ignore it? Those are our options. How we would ignore it, I don't know. Bishop g5 comes to mind, but we already sort of discussed that. Doesn't particularly look nice. Knight bd2 could work, supporting this pawn. But then after castles, their rook's actually a bit more open, so I don't particularly like that. So maybe it would be a case of taking. I don't think knight takes would be particularly good because they hang the pawn, so it would probably be pawn takes. At which point their kingside just looks a bit weak, to be honest. Maybe we've got a d4, although then this pawn is a bit weak. So maybe we could start to hit it, although this pawn chain is quite strong. So how we would break through that, maybe a h4, h5 could work. So let's bring the knight out. So we've got options. I think the knight gives us the most options in this scenario. Just because it's defending this pawn as well. It frees up the rook as well. Not that that's under attack from the bishop because of the c3 move. Are they queenside castling? Now that is interesting. That is very interesting. And I've seen this happen a few times in the French. But the double fianchetto doesn't seem like the time to be queenside castling, because this bishop's more of a nuisance than anything, and it's stopping your rook sort of getting the open file. not the open file, the files to support your pawn push, let's say. So yeah, I think that's the only reason for this move, is to queenside castle. So how? So how do we fight the queenside castle? We've got two options. We can either sit here and defend, like our life depends on it, because it does, or we could go on a counterattack with some pawn pushes. The problem is this pawn seems weak, potentially. So it would maybe require a d4. Yeah. I'm worried. I would be worried about trading off them in that scenario. It would be more of a case of takes. Let them take and then take. So what's the best way to sort of charge against the king? Ideally, we would get a b4 in, followed by a b5, kicking this knight, so we can go ahead and push a5. I don't think that's happening, to be honest. I would like to get my bishop to e3, just to look at this diagonal. And I would like to get one of these rooks over as well. So how do we go about doing that then? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Yeah. We could sack the pawn. It's an option. It's not a bad option, to be fair. This pawn's sort of weak after a b5. So it would be a b4, bishop takes, b5, bishop takes. Where's the knight going? I think whatever the knight does, we take the knight. And maybe an a4, supporting this pawn. And then we start to break through, maybe. Maybe happen. Should we go for it? Oh, actually no, because knight takes is cheeky with pawn takes and bishop takes rook. So maybe we move the rook to b1. Rook to b1. It's a bit of a weird move. It's a bit of a slow move. It gets the rook off the diagonal. It supports b4, b5, and they go for that, which is crazy to me. I love a good queenside castle more than the next guy, but that's it's brave to say the least. Now we could go some d4. Could work. Yeah, d4. We can go a knight b3, although that stops the pawn push. We could go knight c4 and cover this square, then get the bishop out and drop the knight back potentially. There's a lot of options, and we just sort of have to see what their plan with their attack is. And we have to sort of absorb that and sort of try lead it into a counter-attack. King's b8. I'm guessing it's just stopping getting off that weak file. And now a b4 maybe could be good with an a4, pushing this, hitting that, push again. It seems done and done, to be fair. There's not much that needs thinking about. We're potentially even looking at a rook lift, which would be very cheeky if we can get this bishop out of the way. Obviously, we don't want to hang the queen. And yeah, we'll see. Still a lot of game left to play. But that b8, king b8 move especially looks a bit slow. I think maybe we could ignore this. I think potentially we can ignore it. and just go straight away with a4. Yeah, because we said we actually want knight there to drop the bishop in, connect the rooks, and support this diagonal as well. Oh no! The pre-move strikes again. No, I can't believe it. I didn't. Oh no! Oh, the pre-move strikes again. God, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. I'll give them that. That's kind of funny. He just didn't want the free piece. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fairs. What? I'm gobsmacked, to be fair. Whew. Okay, focus up. Focus up. Time to focus. Knight there. Trading off. Bishop takes. Knight in. Then we can start potentially pushing these pawns. So, we're down 2 pawns. We've still got our pieces. We've still got the pieces. We're good. And we can go knight there. Yeah. I'm not too worried about this. Not too worried about this. Potentially get a bishop over there. Push this. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. The comeback would be insane, to be fair. The comeback would be ridiculous. Let's drop the bishop in, just to support like we said we would. Connect the rooks. And try do some damage. We're happy with queen takes, because again, you're just opening lines. And then I think we're just going to go ahead and push. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and push. Pre-move knight takes. And with this one, I think we do queen takes. Not sure. I'm trying to get that pre-move out my mind. But I need to stop with the mouse lips. It's getting a bit ridiculous at this point. Okay. So we're down 3 pawns. 3 whole pawns. Which isn't ideal in any scenario, to be honest. But I've sacrificed more for an attack, you know. Definitely done that. Sacrificed the game for an attack, to be fair. And yeah, so that's probably the right move for them. Now we can go ahead and push this again. And then get the knight there anyway. I think that's probably the better move. Get a knight there. Get a queen there. Get a rook there, so we can get the knight to there. That would be quite nice. And we're just looking for open lines. That's all we're looking for. This bishop's annoying because it's covering the A1 square. And they don't go for that. And we're just going to bring our rook to C1. I'm a bit worried about the F2 pawn. Bit worried about the F2 pawn. But it would take some time for them to actually implement any ideas along that way. We've also got knight coming into B7 is a possibility. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, king takes, maybe a rook lift, and hit the A7. That could work. A long way off, but it could work. We also have bishop to F1 and hit this pawn, which would be interesting. Yeah, that's probably a smart thing for them to do. Probably a smart thing for them to do. drop the bishop back, and we'll go after this pawn after a knight d4. They can push their pawn, but again, it's weak. It's more weaknesses. And hopefully these weaknesses will add up. If we can trade off their dark squared bishop, potentially that could be good, although maybe we prefer the knight. Maybe we prefer the knight. And yeah, a c6 is probably looking wise for them at the minute. Yeah. And they don't. They continue with their attack. And we'll we'll double up the rooks just so we're covering this, and we can look to go. That is a move they can do. Yeah, that's something I overlooked. Yikes. So we're in. Actually, no, the knight's covered. The knight's covered. We're all good. Overreacting slightly. Calm down. Calm down, Jacob. Calm down. Where's the best place to hit? Yeah. Hitting this. And that's going to be devastating. Yeah. So they're bringing their other rook across. And I'm not sure what I'm doing after that. Maybe we go rook there. They go there. Huh. Not sure what that's doing. Really not sure what that's doing. Surely the other rook was way better. Okay. Well, we've got the obvious discovered attack. We could also sack the knight for rook takes. But then rook there. Rook takes. Queen moves back. Then rook up, then queen there. Oh, it could work. Should we do it? Should we do it? Bosh, we've done it. We've done it now. Too late. What are you going to do? Either loses or wins. But either way, it'll be interesting. Either way, it will be interesting. I think c6 is probably the best idea here. Although knight a5 again looks sort of nice. Looking to sacrifice the knight on c6. And they don't go for it. Okay. Probably smart. Probably smart. But now they can't move over. And let's go there. And we're looking to actually get the knight on c6 itself. Pardon me, sorry. And then maybe like a queen c2. Or we could just then take that actually. And we've got options. It's not as dark as it seems. That is God knows. Knight takes, bishop takes, only move. Rook up. Queen there. Just seems really, really good, to be honest. Let's do that. Oh, then we have queen takes as well, threatening a windmill of some sort, or maybe just mate. Oh, nasty, 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 nasty stuff. I don't know what they're going to do now. It's pretty dire for them, I think. I'm pretty sure this is nice. If this isn't nice for us, I'm going to be disappointed. It could be exchange worthy, to be fair. This pawn's just doing so well. It's staying there forever. And then we've got like a bishop takes with a knight check. And you're winning the queen for a rook. And it's just, oh, chef's kiss. So that's probably a smart move from them, just covering this pawn. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like your style. Where's this rook going? Where's this rook going? Queen there. It doesn't really matter as long as we take this. Queen there is probably the better move. And then maybe we've got some ideas with queen takes as well. Oh, we've got a game on our hands, my friends. We have a game on our hands. Interesting. Now, do we do rook takes, followed by pawn takes, followed by bishop there? Could work. We also could just go bishop there, although rook takes is annoying. Or we could go queen takes. But to be honest, I think rook takes, and we've got to just give them the passer. King, oh, sorry. Gosh. No, what is it? Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. King there is annoying. That's a really good defensive idea. Oh, but then we've got rook b6. Oh, that's vile. Threatening checkmate with bishop to c6. No, but then you push the pawn. No, but then you've got rook b7. Hitting the queen. And then you just drop the bishop back. Yes. I think so. I think so. I think so. King a8 is the only move here. Yeah. Which point depends. I think rook a6 is nice, followed by rook a7. So rook a6, pawn there, rook a7. Actually, pawn takes is super scary. No, but we've got mating threats. After pawn push. Oh my gosh. What? What? No. No. That's just mating. Isn't it? No, it's not. Oh no, but queen takes d5. There's no queen check. And I'm threatening rook b6 checkmate with queen b7. That's devastating. Bosh. Bosh. If there's ever a time to say bosh, this one is it. I'm telling you. And all of a sudden, we're only down one pawn with a devastating attack. And if I was black, I would be terrified. I don't think you can stop it. I really don't think you can stop it. Maybe rook d8. Oh no, I would just take. Maybe like a rook f8 then. Rook f8. I have to check king there. But then bishop check. Queen takes. Rook check. King takes. Queen takes. Pawn push. Queen d2. And it's a rook versus bishop endgame. No, a rook and bishop versus queen endgame. And that doesn't do anything. We've won. We've won. Yeah. Whew! Wow. That's scary stuff. We had the mouse slip of the century there. Whew. Wow. That's why you love chess, you know. Like it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful game. We got a brilliancy as well, which is probably the rucksack. 84.7 versus 74.0, 2100 versus 1600, and let's see this opening. Now, it says inaccuracy. The computer doesn't like my system for a King's Indian attack. Let's get that out the water straight away. The computer does not like the system. However, it is very hard to play against as a low-rated person up to 1900, 1800. You know, it's very hard to play against. The computer will not say they're brilliant, best, or amazing moves. But that's the way we play it. So, we stop messing about with rook b1. And apparently wanted d4. So, what do we do from here? d4. Found it. With b4, the best move. Amazing. With a4, also the best move. And we are on the right track to a good attack here with 1.1 advantage for us. And then we have the mouse slip of the century. And for some reason, they don't take the knight. Which is fine with us because we managed to recover quite nicely. And we have to sack the pawn. And we get a fairly decent attack out of it. We get the bishop out. Bishop there apparently is better. Just hitting the knight, although you never really threaten his take. I prefer this on the diagonal. And we keep pushing pawns. Queen takes. They lock it up, and then we go a6, which is quite nice. And it's still completely winning for black. It's still 3.0 for black. But they're a bit cramped, and I was a bit confused at why they didn't take this. They seem reluctant to take this. Maybe because I'm slightly higher rated. They think everything's a trap. I'm not quite sure, but they've not taken two of my free things yet. So, I mean, bishop c6 just doesn't look good, though, at all. Like, I get bishop a8, or maybe not bishop c8, but still it's got some ideas of doubling up on this diagonal. But bishop c6 is not nice at all. We hit it again, and they go back. They move it for a second time. Bishop f1's all right. It likes the rook up first. just so you're covering this as well, which makes sense. And knight there just to stop that. But we quite like the knight there anyway. Yeah, and we sacrifice the knight, which is the best move. Apparently they can take it. Not sure what that leads to. What? We sacrifice the bishop? Oh, because if queen takes, we get the check followed by check, mate. Oh, brutal, brutal. We get that. Yeah, they get that. We take a few pawns, and it's still completely winning for black. It's 2.7. Knight moves up. Knight check. Best move. Rook takes. And then that rook's an absolute thorn in black's position. They played some really good moves here with d6, d5. Stops taking, and it frees up some lines as well. Apparently f3 is what it wants. Queen a2 loses, apparently, to that. And apparently queen f7 saves the position because he's holding on to this d pawn, which makes a lot of sense. What did we recommend? What did we recommend? I'm not quite sure. I've forgotten what we recommended. What we thought was the best move. Or maybe it was after here we had the right move. What was it? Rook there. Rook b6. Rook f there. Rook b6. What about king? Oh, because then you've got queen there, mate. Aha, that's probably why. Yeah, I thought we had an idea here. Was it king h8? Queen a4. What about there? And apparently you just trade off. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Not quite sure. Anyway, let's see this brilliancy. We knew it was happening. Yeah, it's just devastating at this point. Brilliancy. We've got to have it on the board. You know how it is. And yeah, just checkmate. Wow. I think we could have a look at a little master game there. Not a crazy one. Just from b6, and we'll just have a look at what people played. Magnus Carlsen versus Timur Rajabov, I think his name is. b6. And Magnus, obviously, he knows the opening principles better than I do, so he goes with d4 and just claims the center with a bishop d3. That's interesting. And like I said, a lot of people like to play these a4 things straight away, just weakening the thing, because you made a weakness right out of the beginning. You might as well attack it. Then knight d2, just to cover this pawn. And then you've got this knight maneuver, which we said somewhat similar. We do a knight h2, but I guess knight g3 is just as good, if not better. Obviously, it's Magnus Carlsen playing it, so you can't really complain. And yeah, I guess it's just going to g3, which it does. And then a c3 as well, which is interesting. And this is a familiar little pawn structure, is it not? No trading off in the center, which is an interesting thing. And then Magnus doubles the bishop and queen. Goes to lock things off. And it's a good thing to know when you are looking for an attack on the king. It's important that you try lock up the center as much as possible, just so you limit the chances that your opponent has to make a counter attack. Goes to trade off the bishop. Plays d5, locking things up even more. This bishop's a bit of a pawn here, but it does have chances with c4, with the queen back in it as well. So, you know. And then doesn't take en passant. Doesn't take on controversial take. And he allows c4. Crazy. Queen moves up. No clue. Maybe you're looking to double up the rooks. And this knight comes back. And it's looking for g4. And I said knight g4. It's a good move. It's a good move. Trades off the bishop for some reason now. It's better. I don't know. Brings the queen straight back. Pushes the f side. The knight comes in. That knight supporting the other knight. Sacrifices a pawn for some reason. Oh, because you're blocking off the rook from the other one. Makes sense. Ah, we've lost it. There we go. Pawn takes. The queen's coming in. You don't let them take the free knight. You push the pawn with check, which is devastating. Pick up that pawn. Knight comes straight back. Magnus does not mess around. He takes the piece and he goes straight back to where his knight is most needed. Starts pushing this pawn. Gives a check. And then, is this queen trappy? Or is it just a good position? The bishop's finally got in the game from this kingside attack. And yeah, apparently 6.9. So I'll take the computer's word for it. If so, the queen can't go here because of the knight fork. Can't go here, 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 here. Can't go here. So what happens if it goes there? I don't know. Simple. Maybe there, with followed by a rook, a knight check, something. Although the knight's covering that. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Radjabov resigns here. When you're playing Magnus, you know, you just resign no matter what, basically, because he's always going to win. But anyway, enough bootlicking. Thank you all for watching. That was a really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.